Hello and welcome to Unfudge Your Marketing. This is a show where I chat with business owners and leaders about their marketing mistakes, mishaps, and things that didn't quite go as planned. But most importantly, we share the lessons learned with you. I am your host. I'm Kristi Mitchell. I'm a marketing strategist, and I love working with mission-driven, client-centered service providers who have relied on referrals and word of mouth to build their business. And they know in order to take things to the next level and have a greater impact and grow for the future, they need to finally think more strategically about their marketing. Today, I am so excited to welcome two ladies to this show. Meet Barlisa, or Barbara and Alyssa, if you want to get technical. They are the duo behind Homemade Events, the go-to event planning service helping the Rochester community capture core memories with their loved ones. Thanks to their deep-rooted passion, extensive resources, and low-stress approach, they deliver immersive and unforgettable events. But they had so much more to say, so they started a podcast. To be honest, they couldn't help themselves. Barbara and Alyssa realized that Instagram Reels and Stories just weren't cutting it. Did they know what they were doing when they started the Margs and Mindset podcast? Absolutely not, but they did it anyway. They did it scared, and their goal was to empower badass women of color to break free from the shackles of the past through raw conversations, laughs, and tasty margaritas, or beverage of choice. With that, I am so excited to welcome these ladies to the show.
Hello.
Hi.
This is so fun.
I know. This has been a long time coming. So I always like to share with listeners how I know my guests. So we're going to give the Next Level Collective right here in Rochester, New York, a little shout out because I met you ladies last year, almost exactly a year ago, at the retreat that was hosted by Next Level. And then one thing led to another, and you lovely ladies decided to hire me for your marketing, which I'm still so thankful for. And so my disclaimer before we jump into the episode today is that this might end up being a little bit promotional of me and my services, which I try and stay away from because I always like to shine the light on my guests and really focus on the story that they have to tell. That's my disclaimer before we jump in. Because these ladies already told me that they're going to say great things about me. So very sweet. So I would love to, again, since the name of the show is Unfudge Your Marketing, we like to talk about marketing mistakes and mishaps, things that have happened. I would love to go back to you ladies a little over a year ago, because it's almost the 1 year anniversary of us starting to work together too. Where were you in your business and with your marketing at that time?
Lost. Yeah. I was just going to say that. I was going to say at 1 year ago, we were 3 years into our business and could truthfully say that we had no idea what marketing was. We didn't know what we were doing. We thought we were marketing. You know, we were posting things. We were sending an email every 3 months, you know, like things got out there. There was word of mouth. And so we were like, that counts, right? But truthfully, when it came down to marketing, we had no idea. And we found ourselves, at that retreat, truthfully looking for someone that was going to help take us to the next level because we knew what our business was capable of. You know, we were 3 years in, we weren't brand new. And we had dreams. We knew where we wanted our business to go, and we knew that we had to market it to get there. But we did not know what that was going to mean in any way, shape, or form. We just knew that that's what it was going to take. So in our minds, we were just like, okay, well, then we need to go find someone who does this and is going to be able to do the marketing for us. It was the first time that I feel like we said we were going to really outsource something. Like we're going to outsource marketing. And then we met you and you told us, you're not going to outsource it. You're actually just going to learn it because I'm going to teach you and you're going to do it yourself. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to get someone to do it for me. And yet here I stand on the other side of the computer, learning or having learned now a year later so much about what marketing means. And again, because I'm going to honey roast you on this podcast, we didn't know what that meant. And we didn't think that we were truly going to be able to market ourselves. Like in the beginning, 3 years ago, I didn't believe that I was going to be able to figure this out. I was just like, no, I don't think so. And you were like, no, just give me the chance. I can teach you. And I'm like, I'm like a really good student, but I'm not that good. I don't even know what marketing is. So
and you don't need to.
It was nerve wracking. I know. And you kept saying that. And I was like, I don't know. But we did. We pushed past that. We truly trusted in you. And you changed the trajectory of 2025 for us. There's just no doubt.
Aww.
No doubts at
you
all.
Girls are going to make me cry, and we're just getting into this. So I totally appreciate that. And I remember those conversations we were having because, and hopefully you don't mind me saying this.
No, you're good.
I believe you were trying to decide between working with me and hiring someone. Was it to do your social media?
Yeah. And that was it too. Like, this was the first time that we were really, again, like outsourcing. Like, we talked to other people. It wasn't so much like, oh, I need this. And then here's this person. She's saying she's going to help me and I'm going to do it. We like really looked for this because we were set on finding the person that was going to do the marketing for us because we just had it in our minds.
We didn't know what we didn't know.
Yeah.
So we just didn't want our hand in it. Mm-hmm. And you were like, but no, like, you know, trust me. So I remember we actually talked about it last night. We actually met with you twice. Like, we had our first call and you're like, okay, like, these are the packages. And we went back and thought about it. And we were like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And then meeting with you again and you really explaining, taking the time, like, this is an investment. This is something that you want to know how to do. Eventually, maybe one day we outsource it, but at least you have that framework, that understanding of how to market your business. And I think that is what got us. Yeah. Having that empowerment of knowing that, no, I know how to market my business because it's my business, is the reason why we picked you.
Yeah, 1,000%. And it was the customization to our business. So this wasn't like us going and finding some marketing coach who was just going to teach us what marketing was. You taught us what marketing was for our specific business. It was customized to us and what was going to make sense to us and our ideal clients. And that truly was the game changer for me because it wasn't just about learning marketing. It was about learning the marketing that I actually needed to know and I needed to care about in order to do that. Because marketing is so broad. You know what I mean? Like, it can mean so many things to so many different businesses. And so the fact that your approach takes it so that way it is customized to your specific business and what you're trying to serve. I think that's priceless. I know how to run my specific business and do marketing for my specific business. And that to me, you know, that's priceless. I can't put a price on that knowledge, you know, because that's something that I can rinse and repeat. And that's actually something that we noticed, right? We did this whole framework with you for homemade events. And then when we got our venue space, we were like, okay, how do we market the venue space now, right? And the framework was all there. We went back to everything that we did a year ago and everything still applied. And we were able to, you know, pull in our personas and say, well, who is the persona here at Slate? And what are we going to do to market to that person specifically? Again, I can now use this forever. It's not that I paid someone one time and for 3 months they did my marketing for that price. For your price, I can now market the rest of my businesses forever. Like that's key. That's what's important.
Well, and I love that because, you know, I'll be honest, so often when I'm on calls with prospective clients, they'll ask like, well, do you work with businesses in my industry? Or what types of business, you know, what types of industries do you work in? And I'm always like, I'll give examples, but you ladies are honestly a perfect example. I'm trying to remember before you, I think you were my first event specific company.
Yeah.
And like every time it happens and I work with a new industry, there's always like a little, to be totally transparent and honest, there's always like a little grain of doubt in my mind. Like, well, does my process translate to this?
Sure.
And it does.
It does. Yes.
Knock on wood, we haven't had an instance yet where it doesn't. But I think that there's this nuance to hiring a marketing provider that I think is really important for listeners in that if you're finding a provider who may not necessarily be an expert in your space, but their process ends up getting you a customized output, right? That's what you're saying, is like you got this customized, tailored plan and education on how to market your unique business. I still used my same process that I use for all my clients, but that process involves tailoring those recommendations to each individual business because every business is different.
Yes, exactly. And that's really what makes the difference. And I ultimately, that is why we decided to go with you. Everyone else, when they were giving us the price tag, it felt like an investment into our business, which is obviously not a bad thing, but you were an investment into ourselves as business owners. You know, you changed our mindset. Like you provided knowledge that, again, to me, that is priceless. There is no price tag when you can actually, you know, help change the mind of a person for the better.
Yeah. And I'll honestly say, like, working with you guys, it was so apparent, right, in those early conversations that you wanted to learn. You're like, we do need to know how to do this so that we can make better decisions hiring those future people to do execution for us. And I'm so glad we're able to have this conversation while it's not super traditional on my show, because typically the person sitting on the other side is like, gosh, I invested a whole bunch of money in this person to do social media for me, and like it didn't pan out the way we wanted to and didn't give us the results we wanted. And so I was so excited to work with you ladies because I saw that it was a big decision for you, and you had these two paths to go down. And I was so excited to work with you, knowing that you chose the strategy, knowing that you wanted the education. I think that that's huge.
That's something that we talked about yesterday. Your strategy, we noticed your strategy worked on us.
Yeah.
So like if your strategy worked on us, then it obviously has to translate, right? If we show up as good students and do the work and do all of that. So that was another thing that I'm like, okay, like I can trust this. It does work.
You take those little seeds of doubt and just toss them away.
Yes. It has been, I mean, it's been so fun working with you ladies and seeing all the progress you've made, because we haven't been working together for a bit as you've been implementing, and you have had such a great year. I'm curious, you know, going back to that decision, right, of working with me versus hiring someone to implement, and then, you know, where did you obviously learned a ton about how to market your business effectively through our work together. And then you did get to the point of outsourcing. So tell us more about kind of that, you know, how you figured out what to do when.
Progression.
Yes.
Obviously it was the framework, right? You walked us through the framework and these pieces of marketing that maybe we were doing, but pieces that we were leaving on the table. And the blog was a huge one that we were leaving on the table. So we finally decided, like, okay, right, the marketing plan calls, if we want to grow, it calls for this. And, you know, we're the CEOs. We can't do everything. This is something that we do have to outsource. And it was something that was so easy because we had all these documents that we've created together. So we were able to hand over almost like an instruction booklet to this provider that we brought on. So everything was clear, everything was documented, it was there, and blogs are, you know, picking up and they're making a difference. And just the growth this year, because of the work that we did last year, is undeniable. It truly is.
I want to add on to that. It's also like the trust again, right? The trust became transferable. If I didn't understand marketing for my own business and I was just giving it away to someone, how am I supposed to trust that they're actually doing what I need them to do for my business? And so when we now have the framework that we built with you, and we tried it for a little bit still ourselves to continue on with the marketing plan that we had built together, and we still found ourselves with a little bit of lower capacity to actually pull the things off. But now because I understood it, now because like Barb said, I had this instructional handbook to hand over to someone and explain to them, this is exactly what I need to do. These are my buyer personas. This is who you're talking to. Here's all the content ideas that we already have ready to go. And, you know, here's everything that you need. You can take this over now, and I can trust that you're going to be able to do what you need to do because I've given you the framework that's already been built that I know and trust because it came from you. And, you know, and we can, you know, now do this together. And it's something that is such a weight off of our shoulders, right? Because like we said, a year ago, we wanted to delegate this stuff. We wanted to just get rid of it, and taking that time to actually learn it, digest it, and be able to synthesize it enough to give it to someone else, still do that. Like, again, it's amazing. Like we have no doubts that what is being produced out for our marketing is exactly what we want it to be. And that's because we had the framework all along.
I mean, I love all of it. Can you tell it's kind of hard for me to take compliments? I'm like, I honestly I love the fact that we're able to have this conversation because honestly, it brings up other past guests that I've had come on and say things like, well, I hired someone to do this thing for me, but like, turns out they needed more guidance. Like they didn't really know, you know, and without that strategic plan, I think it sets business owners and those execution providers up for a really challenging relationship when there's not a plan. And I think that that's a huge area where I see a gap for a lot of business owners. When they go to hire for marketing, they're just hiring for the execution piece and they're skipping the strategic planning part.
Right. So I think that's huge. Strategy has been huge for us from the very beginning. Like our website designer was like, no, strategy first and then cute colors after. Yeah. And you were the same way. Like, no, we need to build this strategy first. And now when we find ourselves at networking events or, you know, in a room with other small business friends, and they're like, yeah, I'm just like, you know, content and social media and like, how do I market? And I'm like, oh, you need a strategy. First, you need a strategy, and then all those other things will make sense. I actually spoke your name at the Next Level CEO Circle last night. It was all of her concerns, all of her worries, everything that she was sharing was like, oh my God, no, I felt that. I know exactly how you feel, and I know exactly what's going to help you. Her name is Kristi Mitchell, and she's going to provide you with the strategy that you need in order to tackle all of these things that are like poking at you. So strategy, I think that's huge. That's a game changer.
That's what helps you sleep at night as a business owner, truthfully, is that you know that you have all the puts and pieces. The plan is there. And as long as the plan and the structures are in place, right, we can't fall, we can't fail. And so, you know, having those things, it builds that trust. It just builds that reinforcement that like my business is solid because I understand all of the strategies and structures and systems that I have in place.
Right. And I love that you guys are so strategy minded. And that's honestly something I find with my favorite clients to work with, is that they understand the importance of strategy. Like I was actually just on a networking call before this and we were chatting about it, and she has a little bit of marketing overlap, but she's more like business planning, operations stuff. And like we had this conversation about like business owners either get it or they don't when it comes to strategy. They're either just looking for that quick fix. I'm just going to do this one tactic. It's going to solve all my problems. Or they're like, okay, let me take a pause. Let me make sure there's a strategy backing up my next action. And like, maybe it means I can't hire someone to execute my marketing as quickly as I wanted to. Maybe it means we're not going to get rolling with our social media plan as quickly as I wanted to. But if we can take the time, energy, and invest the budget to start at that strategic level, as you ladies are saying, right, it ends up solving all of those problems that you hear other business owners struggling with.
It's doing the hard part first to make it easier later. And I think that's something that is really hard for business owners because we need to keep going. We need to keep moving. There's always the next thing, especially if you're a high achiever, right? You just want to constantly be doing more and more and more. And so it becomes a lot harder, to be able to prioritize those things. And so to have those plans in place, it provides that security, I think. to be able to have these strategies.
Yes. And I want to go back to a point that you made earlier too, on the point about trust, right? And being able, if you have that strategic plan and now you're equipped with the knowledge that you didn't have before in terms of like, what is a strategic marketing plan? Where do we need to be focusing? You know, once you're clear on that, you have the education, you have the frameworks, you have the knowledge, you have the strategy. Now you can go out and truly find those partners who are going to be right for you in your business on those execution pieces that you need. And I'm curious, do you think that it helped you kind of prioritize too? Like, right? Because I know you, like, you're a small business, you're growing, but you're a small business, right? And small businesses have limited budgets.
Yeah. It goes back to 2025 looks completely different because the strategy that we learned in 2024. It not only like that client alignment. So the clients that were coming, like you said, like, oh, I love clients like you. We are attracting our ideal client. We are attracting our ideal partners so that we can continue to scale our small business into a larger business. And it's because we had those plans and those structures. 2025, we just did our year in review on Monday, and we blew ourselves away because, like she said, high achievers, right? We just kind of go one event, next event, next event, next event. And then all of a sudden the year is gone. And we went back and we set numbers and we set metrics and we hit them.
Yeah.
And it's because we marketed. It's because we understood our marketing that everything else increased naturally.
Yeah. And because we did that one hard thing that, you know, that took a lot of time and energy in the beginning, it set us up to have a much easier year going forward. And like 2026, you know, from a marketing standpoint, you know, we had our meeting today about things that we were going to go, you know, and do in the future. And those don't feel hard or scary. I'm not nervous about like, oh my God, how am I going to market that event so that way people show up? I'm like, okay, so this is what we have to do so that way people show up to that event. Like, there's just no question. We used to worry about that. We used to say, oh my gosh, how are we going to get the word out? How are people going to know that this is happening? And like, are we going to even sell tickets? Like, you know, to certain types of events. And now I don't worry about that. Now it's not a matter. I just know that people are going to come because my marketing funnel is set up properly. You know what I mean? That I'm attracting those babies. They're coming down the funnel. You know? I'm going to get them in there. And it does. It makes a huge difference. And now 2026 is going to be set up to be a quote unquote easy year for us because our person is in place, you know, to handle the blogs and things like that we've been able to outsource. And now we know what our plans are going to be to market all these events that we want to move forward with in the future. And now it's just doing it, which is not the hard part, you know? So it was this very difficult decision. And it took a lot of time and energy in the beginning, but now we get to go on for the rest of our business career and this being just easy breezy because we have that structure and strategy in place.
I think that you ladies, I hope that you stop to celebrate yourselves and all of this work that you've done. I mean, you make it sound so easy. Like, oh, we just worked with Kristi and then it was all, but like you ladies are the ones who put in the work. First of all, you are the ones who knew you needed a strategy. You knew you had to do that like big upfront heavy lift on that and educate yourselves and not just hand it off. Like you knew you had to make that tough decision and you did it, which is more than I can say for a lot of business owners, especially the ones who come on the show a lot of times.
We have noticed that also. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I truly think it's a gift and superpower that we have to know when we're getting in our own way because so often we do get in our own way, our habits, our discipline, like all those things. And we end up kind of not achieving what we want because we don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
And that is something that we talked about on our year in review. Like, holy shit, we work a lot. Yeah. And it is why we are where we are. It is why we crushed this year. And it's so important for us to find people like you, not just people that can help move our business, but people that believe in us. Mm-hmm. You believed in us from like the moment that we met you.
You're like, you can do this. Yeah, you're like, no, really, I can help you. You can do this. And we're just like,
I don't know you. I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure. Hold on. I'm pretty sure when I met you at that event, you were like, I was like, yeah, so what are you guys working on your business? Oh, we're going to take over the world.
And it is what we said. That was,
love
no, you're not wrong. That was on the name card. I remember that.
So yeah, if you're going to take over the world, I'm sure I can teach you marketing.
And now we can. And I think that's what it is I truly feel like I can, because I understand what this means for me and my specific dream. And that's just a complete game changer. Like Barb said, to have someone to, believe in you, and for you to also believe in yourself, like you helped us to believe in us. So we didn't believe it in the beginning. Like she said, we were not wanting to do the hard thing. We just wanted to outsource it. We could see ourselves getting in our own way in that aspect of just being like, nope, we're just going to knock that off. It's not even our problem. Let's not do it. Let's make it somebody else's problem. I don't like that. But we didn't even know what it was to say we didn't like it, Mm-hmm. So yeah, taking that time and investing in ourselves and investing in the knowledge of marketing it's totally changed the game for us.
Well, I feel like you ladies have shared so many awesome nuggets with our listeners. But as we get ready to wrap up, is there any last piece of advice that you want to leave listeners with?
Oh, that's a good one. I think, honestly, it's the trust aspect. I think that I would like to leave listeners with the nugget of just think about it, right? Like play out the scenario. If you took the time and the money to invest in yourself and invest in this knowledge to learn something, not just delegate it and outsource it, just think of the value that that's going to give you on the other side and the trust that that's going to build. And trusting the service provider that is going to give it to you. We trusted you. And that trust has now then allowed us to trust ourselves and now gotten us to the point where we're able to trust somebody else and actually outsourcing it this time around. So I would say just kind of lean into that. You don't know what you don't know, so give it a shot. Everybody likes to think, what's the worst that can happen, but we are definitely on the side of what's the best that can happen. What if this ends up being amazing? What if this is exactly what you needed? And now you're going to market your ass off for the rest of your business. And you're going to scale and be, you know what I mean? You're going to take over the world because you can, because So yeah, I'm going to say just trust the process.
I love that. Barb, do you have one?
Similarly, I guess tailing is your who, not how. Find your who, right? You're not supposed to, as a business owner, know everything. That's insane. So who is the specialist? Who is that person that can teach you, and then trust that person that they're going to teach you the right way.
Yeah.
I love that. Who, not how. Oh, that's awesome. Those played so well. You ladies are just weird. Okay, very, very well, first of all, before I jump to that, I do want to thank you both so much for taking the time to come on the show. Thank you so much for all of your kind words. At the end of the day, it was all you ladies. Like, it was your mindset, it was your approach, it was your hard work and dedication, and like, all right, we're going to roll up our sleeves and do this. Like, it was you that did it all, and it was you that accomplished all that you did this year. So I love that you guys just did that year in review. It was honestly an honor to work with you. I love seeing all your success. So awesome. So very lastly, as we wrap up the show, how can listeners learn more about you and the work that you do?
Absolutely. So we have a podcast Instagram. We also have our events Instagram. So we are locally based in Rochester, New York. But we do also do destination events. So, hit us up wherever you're at. You never know.
They're named for a travel plan.
Exactly. So yes, you can find us on Instagram and YouTube at Marketing Mindset Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Homemade Events ROC. That's our homemade page. And yeah, I would say that's going to be your best places. Yeah. We're always
and be sure to put your email last.
Oh, the email. Oh my God. Oh, we can go off the podcast. Go. We got to go. That's the 99%. Dang it. We were trying to go for 100.
You ladies are crushing it. You're crushing it. I cannot wait to see what you accomplish in 2026. Thank you again so much for your willingness to come on the show.
Thank you for having us. This was great.
All right, everybody. Until next time.
Bye.